Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's topic, 3 steps to a peaceful life. And come on, couldn't we all use a little more of that in the whirlwind of, I want to say, chaos that sometimes ensues, especially for those who are sensitives, empaths, intuitives, like myself and my special guest today. Tina C. Hines is a 5th generation intuitive clairvoyant, medium, empath, and healer who has devoted her life's work to help transform and guide emotionally wounded women on a journey from hurting to healing to happiness. Come on, ladies, don't we all wish for that? She travels throughout Asia and the Caribbean, hosting healing retreats that educate, empower, and enlighten women to rediscover their happiness. And I'm always following her retreat photos because they leave me drooling. Her unique spirit has gained her recognition as an expert in transformational coaching, which is why I wanted her here today. Tina's vision is simple: to inspire women to live unapologetically abundant by creating the life they desire. Welcome, my friend.
Hello, Miss Linda Joy. Glad to be here today.
You and I have played and circled around each other for a long time. We follow each other. We've always been drawn to each other's message. And, you know, it's funny when I saw your topic come in because you embody that to me, a peaceful life. So your belief is that creating a peaceful life can lead to more happiness, more joy, more inner fulfillment. Did you come to that truth from your own journey, from not living a peaceful life? I'm always curious.
You know, early on, before I started this particular journey, like we go through phases in our lives, but early on, I was in the midst of the enthralls of corporate America, and it was consistent movement. And rarely did I find myself slowing down until I went through my own personal healing journey after coming out of or working through clinical depression. And, you know, oftentimes when we experience depression, we get quiet. And so that was the key piece of me starting to practice more stillness and identifying how I can incorporate more peace within my life and what needs to be adjusted or removed. So it's been a definite journey, I can say, over the past 15 years.
Yeah, but it's been like just from the time that we've been connected, that's the energy I pick up from you. So like all of us, right, we're human. There's days where we may choose to live in inner peace most of the time, but then life happens. And then, but I believe this, and this is why I wanted you to share your wisdom today, is when we have the tools to bring us back into inner peace at the times when the world or life or situations pull us out, having those tools is critical.
I wholeheartedly agree. And one of the key points that we were talking about was nurturing your inner world. And when I think about nurturing your inner world, I think the ultimate reset, the ultimate tool is meditation. Like, you have to have that inner dialogue with yourself to identify what challenges that you are experiencing and how you can transition them into ones that are more positive, that don't wreak havoc over your life. Because we all know we have the ebbs and flows, and even when life is going well, there are certain challenges that come. And I like to say life is still lifing, even in the midst of peace. So we identify what is it that we need. And, you know, when I think about the nurturing, it's slowing down and being in the moment, identifying what's causing the chaos and how you can transition it to a space of calm, and also prioritizing soul care.
That's a big one. I think that was on my own healing journey, is even realizing that there was that part of me that needed nurturing, right? Because we live up here, we're trained to stay up here, and I did that for 35 years, and I can really relate to the anxiety, depression stuff. I believe it was because I was disconnected from my soul and was living up here. So what does I want to talk about the meditation for a moment. What does that look like for her in case a woman right now is saying, oh, I can't meditate? What is your version of meditating? What are some tips that you can share about that? Because I know there's women that really believe, as I once did, that they can't meditate.
When I think about meditation, especially the journey of how I started meditating, it was recommended to me by a friend, and I was like, oh no, I can't sit still. But there were a couple of key pieces that I realized that some people should take into consideration when they want to meditate. It isn't a length of time that you have to do it. It can be 1 minute, it could be 5 minutes, it could be 30 minutes. And sometimes it's just and then there's a sense of peace that comes over you. Another thing is identifying, do you want to sit in stillness or do you want to be guided on a journey when you're sitting into that meditation? I have a thing for voices for some reason. So my preference is I like to listen to male voices that have accents. And I find it's just weird. I find that I get the most calm when it's a male voice that has an accent. And also picking the time when you can meditate, because you can't force it to happen. And I found that I meditate twice a day. I find that in the evening, guided meditation allows you to slumber and rest. And then during the day, I choose Native American flute music where I can just sit in stillness on my own, because it's something about the sound that relaxes my vessel. Other people may choose, they like the sound of rain or birds chirping or anything. So there isn't a right or wrong way to meditate. It's just identifying the practice that you want to implement and take small incremental steps and to start applying it. And don't feel like there's still things going on in my head. It's practice, and it definitely takes time to do it. And this is something that has been cultivated. This is a practice that has been cultivated over 14 years. So it does take time.
I love that you shared about the guided meditations. That's how I do it. I have such a collection of guided meditations, and I'm very particular. It could be a male or female voice, but there has to be the certain resonance I know immediately if I can listen to them. And then the other thing that we have in common that I never knew is both Dana and myself, we love Native American flute music. So when we moved, it just kind of, some of my files haven't been unpacked, and it's only been 3 years. So you just encouraged me to go find those CDs that I have that we have had for many years and bring them back into my awareness. So thank you for that gift. I love that you gave permission, because I had a false belief for 35 years. I can't meditate, I can't sit on a cushion and do this. So of course, what happened, I never did anything until I realized that meditation is just being in the present moment. And that's what you were describing. Sometimes when I'm hand washing certain dishes, I have a dishwasher, but I love the ritual.
Yeah.
And right outside this window, which is also the kitchen window, one day I was washing a cup and looking out at the nature preserve that abuts us. And I had this moment of awareness, like, oh, I think that was just meditating. I was so present. I was lost in nature. That's meditating, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. And it's funny because there was an occasion I was visiting a friend, and there was a labyrinth in their park. Mm-hmm. And we walked the labyrinth, and she said to me, I never know what to do when I walk around. I said, just be present and just walk around it. You can just look out. You can listen to the sounds of the bird. You can look down at the pattern. I said, but just be present. Don't be so focused on what's going on when you leave here or what we did before we got here. So that's also just the walking meditation.
So that's what you mean about nurturing your inner world with meditation, being present, bringing your attention from your mind to your heart. Every time it wants to go back, because it does happen to me, I'm like, come on back, come on back. But I don't judge myself anymore, because I know it's part of the human journey, is to just keep bringing the attention back. So I love that, nurturing your inner world. What is another strategy you would like to share?
I definitely would say creating or cultivating a positive mindset.
Yeah.
I've been implementing very consistently where I avoid using the word, oh, that's negative. I'll usually say that's not so positive. And people say, well, why do you change it? I says, because the word positive is still in there. And so it's always necessary to start shifting up your words when it sounds so negative, and identifying how can I change this to be one that's more uplifting and empowering to me and to others when I'm having conversations with them. So when I'm able to identify what the need is and I'm able to communicate it clearly, then that gives me a positive mindset of starting to just shift the narrative, shift how things used to be to how they are presently. I think that's very important in cultivating a positive mindset.
I think it's critical because I believe our cells, our soul are always listening, and words have power,
Yes.
right? And so when I saw that cultivate a positive mindset, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna love this conversation. Because you and I both know, you know, a lot of my past, it was, a single welfare mom, runaway high school dropout. There was this energy to the words I used to use back then. And I believe that it was programming I just picked up, but they became my truth. They became my script. And as you, it sounds, I had to consciously choose new words, new thoughts, new beliefs to get me from point A, which is where I was, to where I am now. And of course, I continued to do it. So is it part of your daily practice, being so aware of the words you use, what you bring into your energy, the shows you watch, the media, the radio, podcast? Is it everything?
It's everything, that what I choose to read when I'm reading books and I'm highlighting key pieces of it. I'm very selective with watching TV. I actually don't watch it as much as I used to. I actually went like 2 years without watching TV, cold turkey, because it became very overwhelming to my vessel. And so if it's not conducive to my well-being, I choose to release it with love, because we know we can always end up in a rabbit hole in a not so positive space. And my goal is to help women to come out of that rabbit hole and do their best not to fall back into it. So it is a consistent practice in what we're reading and the conversations that we're having and the types of people that we're connecting with. Sometimes you have to be willing to shift that energy, because if people are in a space where they're choosing to not live a so positive life when you're on this journey of shifting, so everybody, what's the saying? Everybody can't go with you. And so this journey of cultivating a positive mindset is also about the people that are in your sphere, friend, family, or foe. And are they conducive to your well-being in the direction that you're working towards heading in?
Yeah, that's
a
powerful.
positive state or not?
Yeah, and I agree, because there's been so many relationships over, I'm 60, and I've been on this spiritual journey for 30 years, that it was never a conscious choice. It's an energy, right? I never said, I don't think I'm going to hang out with that person anymore because they're not conducive. It was more, I focus on my vibration, my healing, my own energy, my mindset. And it's almost like our paths just ended. They no longer merge. Did you find that too? It isn't like we have to have these tough conversations. I found in many times our paths just came to a different point. And I think that's related to our energetic imprint too. Do you think so?
I can say for me, it's been a combination of both. You know, people feel my energy and they're like, oh, okay, wait a minute, she's different now. When she's not having the same kind of conversations we used to have. And then unfortunately, there were some relationships that I realized that I choose not to be in this space anymore, especially if it's going to impact our well-being. Because there are sometimes where people can't hear when you're trying to say them, no matter how many ways you chop it up and try to say, I'm going to give this to you in bite-sized pieces and hope you digest it. Sometimes you just have to be, okay, I need to be more direct, because going a different route is not effective. But it is important whichever way you choose to do it. But unfortunately, I've experienced a combination of both, where universe or Gus, God, universe, source says, okay, we're going to remove this person from your space. And when there were some that didn't move quick enough, I helped remove them from my space.
But I love that you found a way to honor yourself. And there's a phrase that you're using that I really love. It's like spiritually resonating. It's the vessel.
Yeah.
So that's your wholeness. Is that your physical, emotional, and spiritual essence?
Yes, I have to always take care of the vessel, because we are responsible for our vessel. No one else is responsible for it. We are responsible for our well-being. We're responsible for our healing. And we can't have the expectation that other people are going to take care of it like we will. And so it is our responsibility and no one else's.
Yeah, that word just really resonates, because even as you're using it in your self-talk, and as I heard it and received it, it was like, that's my light, that's my essence, that's my energy. So I just love that, because that's a script that was reprogrammed within you to see yourself as a vessel. So I just wanted to say, because I received that on a deep level, that phrase. So thank you for that, because it's a reminder of our sacredness.
Most definitely. And we always need reminders, because sometimes we may fall off, but we always need reminders that pull us back to that space, to that sacred space.
Yeah, it's so true, because for years, I'm not a gym person. And if I put in my phone, this is the power of words. If I put in my phone, go to gym at 6 a.m., it does not resonate with me. It's like, oh, I can avoid that. But I started using hashtag sacred self-care. Hashtag in my phone, I'd schedule things, sacred family time. And then the other one I think I use is, sacred couple time. There's a different energetic connotation when I see those in my phone than go to the gym. When I see sacred couple time, even though I'm busy that day, it's a reminder you want to give this relationship your full love and intention, because humans, we're human. It's like, oh, well, baby, yeah, we'll do that another time. And I said, no, I need to find phrases. So your word vessel hit me in the same way that those phrases that I had to discover for myself, to reprogram my habits. So thank you. So much wisdom here.
You're welcome.
And your last one is funny, because it's the name of one of my books, and I think it is so important, and I can't wait to hear your take on it. And it's choosing happiness. And I love the choice of words, so I want to hear. So tell me what choosing happiness means for you.
To me, choosing happiness means making a conscious decision to focus on the positive aspects of life and to actively seek out things that bring you joy and contentment.
Yeah, it's a choice, right?
It's a choice.
Yeah, that's my personal belief too, is we have 1,000 things we could focus on. Why you're going to focus on things that do not bring you closer to your highest elevated self. And every thought is a choice.
Yes.
Whether, because the moment it comes into your awareness, and I know as a meditator, you must find this to be true too. When a thought comes in, okay, yes, it floats to the surface, but the moment you're aware of that thought, that's where the power lies. You get to choose if you continue that thought. It's the same thing with happiness, right? Like you choose beautiful things around you. You choose, because I see your sacred adornments that you wear too. And
my dragonfly.
Yeah, I love dragonflies. And you make beautiful jewelry. Like you choose in every moment to be intentional.
And that's important when we operate from a space of intention. And I think in the past, a lot of times it's just, I'm just flowing. I'm just flowing and doing and doing and doing, and then dealing with the repercussions later. But now when I'm stopping and operating from a space of intention, I'm consciously asking myself, things that I'm doing, does this bring me joy?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't bring me joy, how do I either release it with love or turn it around so it can bring me joy? And currently I'm reading this book called The Greatest Mindset. And I'm getting key pieces of it that's actually pulling me into a space of, well, you've been doing this thing for a period of time and you're doing it out of habit, but does it bring you joy? And so it's like, maybe not. So now it's like, okay, let's shift it, and let's shift it into a space where it does bring you more of that internal happiness, where when you feel happiness internally, you just feel it. It's like almost like the butterflies when you're dating someone and you're excited about it. Well, when you start doing things in your life that bring you joy and having those conscious memories of that feeling, then every other thing that you do, you're consistently saying, I need that feeling. I want to relive that feeling. And happiness is a part of that.
It's so critical too. And one of the things on top of what you shared is, I don't know about you, but for years I thought happiness was up there, right? I'll be happy when I get the job. And then I woke up one day, I'd probably say maybe around 45, going, what are you doing, Lynn? You are always postponing joy, always postponing happiness, because it became, like you just said, a habit or a pattern. Did you go through that too, where it was the striving to find it out there, and when you got it, then you would allow that butterfly feeling to enter you?
Yeah. It's like being, as parents, we seem to think, as long as my children are happy, I am happy. And then our children become teenagers. They realize that they weren't always happy as a teenager.
Yeah.
And that was, I think that was one of the things that clicked for me. I was like, there are days when he comes home and he's not really happy. And I'm like, but I'm not going to let that impact me. And so making the conscious effort to, okay, my happiness is my responsibility. His happiness is his responsibility. I do what I do as a parent. But it's not out there. It's in here. It's what I'm cultivating internally. I used to have this saying, because people, well, you know, when you feel good internally, it's exuded externally, no makeup required. No makeup required, because it just comes out of you. There's this glow about you because you're happy and you found pure joy in whatever it is for you, versus what you think, what other people think your happiness is supposed to look like. But you need to know what it's supposed to look like for you, because we are so unique. We're all different, but you know what it feels like for you, and being unapologetic about it.
Yes, that's a big thing. Giving ourselves permission to be happy. I think it's a big thing for women.
Yes. Yes. Because we sometimes, if we're living in the past, we feel that we are unworthy. And we are all worthy of happiness. It's our right. But we have to start believing it, breathing it, and being it.
Yes, and something you said too really resonated, is that it comes from the inside out. Like, that's what attracted me to you, following you a number of years ago, is your posts, your joy, the inner peace is an energy in happiness. It's an energy that goes outward that attracts like-minded people towards you.
Yeah.
And so I'll get that feedback a lot, because the word they use, of course, is joy or joyful. And I'm like, listen, I danced in the darkness. I know what it's like to be on the other side. And I choose joy every day. I choose happiness every day. And that's what we're talking about, right? That even in the small moments, choose it. Don't wait for those outside circumstances to be right, because you'll always, when you have outside fulfillment, and I'm curious about your thoughts, when I used to wait for the outside, whether it was a job, the perfect relationship, whatever, there was always something that I was giving my power to, put it that way. And when I finally woke up to the truth is, I create my own happiness, there was a shift inside that changed everything. Did you feel that too? It was like, oh, thank God, I don't have to keep chasing happiness.
Yeah.
I just had to go turn inward.
I definitely felt that. And it was almost like what the good and the evil. The good just was having this great conversation with me and reminding me of everything that I have worked towards, that for whatever reason it all started from what was going on inside of here. And the extra effort and work was the unfulfillment initially. And so when I started shifting things around and also having the dialogues with the women that we've connected with, it's like, you want to be fulfilled, but what does that fulfillment look like for you? And what does it feel like for you? And is it coming from out there or coming from in here? And I thought that was one of the key pieces of going inward. I had to go in.
Yeah, same for me. And the topic of today's call is the 3 steps to a peaceful life. And so I want to come back to that because there's something you just said that I think is so key. When we're out there and our happiness is dependent, and I use this story a lot with my mindset clients, I go, you'll feel like a weeping willow. Your happiness is always dependent on outside. So when life circumstances don't bring you what you perceive as happiness, it's like that weeping willow. You're thrown all over the place, energetically, spiritually, emotionally. But when it's inside, it can't be taken away because it's the essence of who you are. It's almost like I feel like I'm an oak tree and everything can blow around me, but I'm like strong, like, oh, this is mine. This is my choice. Do you feel that too internally, that you're more grounded than ever in your truth because of all these practices?
Honestly, yes. And if I think about the woman that I was and how less grounded I was in them during those times, and the woman that I have become or evolved to, being centered and being at peace, it really was, it was like the missing piece of Tina. It was like, this is what was missing in me, because I was growing, and we're consistently growing, we're consistently evolving. At least I hope that we are consistently growing. And when you start identifying key components of what you need for yourself, and it's not based on others people's opinions or thoughts or expectations, that is a totally different feeling.
It's freedom.
And what we find that we do is we do try to meet other people's expectations. But now it's like, nope, the only expectation we have to meet is the woman in the mirror.
Yeah.
Person in the mirror.
Yeah, but it's so like everything you're saying just resonates with truth on my own journey. And ladies, as you're listening in to this conversation, I know you have felt what I felt. Like you get these nuggets of truth that bypass the thinking mind and just hit you. And a few times, like when you said the vessel and when you described your processes and your strategies, it's like, you know, truth. Right. And ladies, so I want you to listen to that, because if I'm feeling it, you're feeling it too. We all need reminders. Like I've been on this journey 30 years. You've been on about 15 years, I think you've said. We are not there yet. There is no there.
There is no there.
No, I tell people, if someone says they're there, run like hell, because there is no there. We are always meant to evolve and change. And I look forward to that. So my invitation to everybody is, when you got those little soul, I call them soul whispers, when you got that little nudges Tina was sharing, there's a message there for you. How can you nurture more sacred space in your life? How can you choose those moments of joy and happiness? How can you incorporate meditation into your life so that you can unpeel all those layers of false beliefs, habits, and patterns that we all pick up? There is nothing wrong with you. We're just inviting you to make new choices because we know what's waiting on the other side.
I agree. I like the invitation to make new choices, because sometimes we struggle with that and struggle with accepting the invitation. And
that's a big one for women.
Yeah.
They don't step in to accept the opportunity, the support, the love, the nourishment, because they're in that, and I'm speaking from my own truth, they got those blinders on. This is how I've always done it. This is safe to me. This feels good. This feels comfortable. But if they could just take those blinders off, I grew up with horses, so I always use that. what's waiting on the other side, what's waiting within you.
Amazing. I always say it's like you can't, sometimes you just can't describe it. It's like when I share with women about the healing retreats, and I was like, it's hard to put into words, because it definitely is based on what you may be working through and experiencing, and you're going to walk away with a different perspective and so much in your vessel, in your hands of, I'm walking away with all of these tools and this new mindset of I am worthy, I am deserving, I am capable of all that I desire. And all I have to do is put forth the effort, and I have to allow it to go within me. That you can't, sometimes it's just challenging to put it into words.
It is, I find the same struggle. And Tina, I got to say, I am so grateful that you said yes and stepped into this container so that you could share your wisdom with all the women listening. It's such an important message. You and I know from our own personal experience that it doesn't have to be a struggle, that everything we all need is within us, not out there. And my greatest desire is women take at least one of these strategies, if not all of them, and bring it into their life, call it in, invite it in, and just start there. That's it, ladies. Just choose one, start there. And I am going to invite everyone to make another choice too. Right on the side of this video, you'll see the Claim Your Free Gift message. Tina's created a powerful free gift, and it ties into everything we're talking about today. It's called Finding Calm in Chaos, Affirmations for a Peaceful Life. And when you click that button, you'll be brought right down to the image and description below so you can claim it. And it's about opening your heart to the beauty of living a peaceful life. It's 30 affirmations on finding calm in chaos. This collection of affirmations will help you transform your relationship with yourself and the world around you so you can live with more joy, peace, and love, my friends. You deserve that. So please, I invite you to download Tina's free gift, get connected with her, learn more about all her sacred offerings, retreats, and more. And more than anything, choose happiness, choose peace, make new choices. We've got you, my friends. And Tina, any last moment closing message?
Give yourself permission to live the life you desire, live a peaceful life, unapologetically.
Yes, 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 unapologetically, my friends. Tina, thank you, my friend.
You're welcome.